Good day, everyone, especially to you, ma'am. I'm Criscia Autentico, and today I'm going to discuss to you the Chapter 15 of the Philippine Tourism Laws, which is the Tourism and Hospitality Management Education. But before that, let me read to you this first. Filipino workers are sought after in the global tourism industry. In order to increase the demand for Filipino tourism workers, competency in tourism and hospitality management education should be reinforced. It is according to Attorney Antonio Fontanilla, a former Human Resource Director of Century Park Hotel. And our topic outline for this chapter is first is the curriculum, second is school laboratories and other CHED requirements, third is student practicum or apprenticeship, fourth is accreditation and the regulation of the schools, fifth is the tuition fees, sixth is the sexual harassments in the academy, and seven is the random drug testing for tertiary level students. And lastly is the tertiary 8 is tertiary education equivalency, and lastly is the foreign students. By the end of this chapter, our learning objectives are differentiate school abiding with laws from those that are not. Second is identify the requirements in the opening and operation of the tourism or hospitality management program and tourism-related technical vocational programs. And lastly is identify the laws governing various issues in tourism hospitality education. There are approximately a total of 300 plus schools in the Philippines offering degree as well as non-degree programs related to tourism and hospitality management. The degree programs are governed by the rules and regulations of the Commission on Higher Education or CHED, while the non-degree or certificate program are governed by the rules and regulations of the Technical Education Skills Development Authority or the TESDA. It is estimated that over 4,000 tourism and hospitality management graduates are productive by CHED and recognized education institutions annually. The other hand, it is estimated that 10,000 graduates are produced by TESDA and recognized training institutions annually. For our first topic, which is the curriculum. The curriculum of the BS Tourism and BS Hotel Restaurant Management programs of the different colleges and universities around the country should be compliant with CHED Memorandum Order Number 31 Series of 2001. In accordance with the pertinent provisions of Republic Act RA Number 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Act of 1994. The following minimum curricular requirements for the Bachelor of Science in Hospitality Management or HM tourism are hereby adopted and promulgated by the Commission. The government also encourages all higher education institutions to institutionalize the ladderized interface between the technical vocational education and training or the TVET and the higher education or HE, which enables students to earn certification at each year level of the competency and enable them to secure gainful employment. Section 4 of CMO 27 series of 2006 has identified 8 priority courses programs for national implementation. This includes BS Tourism, BS Hotel and Restaurant Management, and BS Travel Management. The charges in the curriculum in the BS Tourism and BS Hotel and Restaurant Management programs of the different colleges and universities should remain relevant to the needs of the global and local tourism industry in order to make the graduates employable. To the date, Philippine tourism and HRM graduates are among the most demanded hotel workers in the world. Approximately every 4 years, the curricula of the 2 courses programs are updated by the CHED upon recommendation of the technical panel of these courses who comprise experts in the industry and academy. The minimum curricular requirements consist of general education, 51 units, hospitality management core, 24 units, Business Education Core 18 units, and major subjects 36 units, Practicum 3 units, and Physical Education is 8 units. And for our next topic, which is the school laboratories and other CHED requirements, the grant of government recognition shall be based on full 100% compliance with the minimum requirements prescribed by CHED in the offering of a particular program of study, especially in terms of faculty, library, laboratory, and administrations. Schools offering BS Hotel and Restaurant Management or Hospitality Management are required to have different kinds of laboratories. Example for the Christian laboratory for food preparation, mocked up guest room for housekeeping, front office for simulation, mock up restaurant and bar for food and beverage service, and the computer laboratory for computer subjects. Good laboratories aim to hone the particular skills of the students. Other things required by CHED are the administrators with at least master's degree and industrial managerial experience. 20% of the subject taught by the teachers with master's degree and industry experience. And next is the at least 2,500 volumes of books accessioned in the library for permit and 5,000 for recognition. And next is the at least 1,000 square meters in the floor area. And lastly is the adequate library space accommodating 15% of enrollment. And now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the student practicum or the apprenticeship. In the relation of CMO number 31 series of 2001, the minimum requirements for student practicum in BS Tourism and BS Hotel and Restaurant Management are 3 units. A minimum of 200 hours for each area of specialization. For the HR majors, at least 200 hours in hotel operations and another 200 hours in restaurant operations. For school offering in the International Practicum Training Program or the IPTP CMO 15 series of 2002 covers the implementing guidelines. In the policy of the Commission on Higher Education or CHED to encourage and promote strong academic linkage with industries for cross-cultural training and skills enhancement to ensure attainment of knowledge, skills, and desirable attitude that will make Filipino students globally competitive. In the pursuit of policy, CHED hereby establishes the International Practicum Training Program or the IPTP to make possible the practicum training of the undergraduate students in various companies, training institutions, and organizations in various parts of the world. The learning that the student get under practicum training will develop new competencies and skills that will make them internationally competitive for employment here or abroad. In view of keeping pace of the demands of global competitiveness, the Commission of Higher Education issue a list of training partners accredited by CHED for the International Practicum Training Program. Heads of higher education institutions are enjoined to enter agreements only to the training partner endorsed by CHED. And now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the accreditation and the regulation of the schools. In accordance with the pertinent provisions of RA 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Act of 1994, the Commission on Higher Education hereby promulgates the revised policies and guidelines on voluntary accreditation in aid of quality and excellence in higher education of the guidance and information of all concerned stakeholders. And it is the declaration policy of the state of encourage and assist and to the CHED higher education institutions which desires to attain standards of quality over above the minimum required by the state. For this purpose, the CHED encourages the use of the voluntary and non-governmental accreditation system in the aid of exercise of its regulatory functions. The CHED will promote the policy environment which supports the accreditation's non-governmental and voluntary character, protects the integration of the accreditation processes. CHED demands responsibility from the federations and networks for the for their certificate of the qualification or quality of education offered in the accredited programs of the institutions. In the pursuant of CHED Memorandum Order Number 6, Series of 1977 or Series of 1997, which pertains to the amendments of CMO 46 Series of 1996 entitled Policy of Progressive Deregulation vis-a-vis Higher Education Institution. Schools that are given accredited status level 3 are autonomous, while schools with accredited status level 2 are given partial deregulation, which among other things entitle the school to curricular autonomy. In the collegiate schools are generally supervised by CHED. Those that have been granted accredited status level 2 are deregulated and are given freedom to change their curriculum provided they meet minimum standards prescribed by CHED. They only need to inform CHED of the changes. On the other hand, schools are granted autonomy. This means that they are no longer supervised by CHED and they have a wide range of privileges, including curricular autonomy with new program offering, etc. In the collegiate or tertiary level, the main accrediting agency is authorized by the Federation of Accrediting Agencies of the Philippines. In the private sectors are the Philippine Accreditation Association of School, Colleges, and Universities, or the PAASCU, in the Philippine Association of Colleges and University Commission on Accreditation, or the PACUCOA, and also we have the Association of Christian Schools and Colleges Accrediting Agency, or the ACSCAA. Meanwhile, the public sector has the following accrediting agencies authorized by the National Network of Quality Accrediting Agencies. We have the Accrediting Agency of Chartered Colleges and Universities of the Philippines, or the AACCUP, and we have also the Association of Local Colleges and Universities Commissions in Accreditation, or the ALCUL or the ALCUCOA, for a school to be granted to the higher level accreditation level 3. The following must be satisfied or observed and reported by the accrediting agencies. We have the reasonably standard of instructions. We have also the highly visible community extension program, highly vision research tradition, strong faculty development tradition, highly creditable performance of its graduates in licensed board exam, and existence of working consortia or linkages in other schools or agencies. And lastly, we have the extensive and functional library and other learning sources of facilities. Now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the tuition fee, or the tuition fees. The allowable increase in tuition and other fees in all levels should not be more than the prevailing national inflation rate. The prevailing national inflation rate shall refer to the average annual headline inflation rate of the national level of the immediately preceding year prior to the academic year for which the intended increase shall affect. Any increase in the tuition or other fees in all levels to be made by the private higher education institutions shall be subject to consultation with stakeholders and approval with the Commission on Higher Education. And now, let's proceed to our next topic, which is the sexual harassment in the academy. In Section 3 and B of the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act of 1995, or RA number 7877, provides that in an education or training environment, sexual harassment is committed against all who is under the care, custody, of supervision of the offender, against one whose education, training, apprenticeship, or tutorship is entrusted to the offender. 3 is when the sexual favor is made of a condition in the giving of the passing grade or the granting of honors and scholarships or the payment of the stipend or allowance or the or other benefits or the privileges or considerations. And lastly, when the sexual advances result into the intimidating, hostile, or offensive environment for the students, trainee, or the apprentice. In the section 4 of RA 7877 provides that it is the duty of the employer of head of the school or the president or the dean or head of the training establishments or the president or training director to deter the commission of the act of sexual harassment and to provide the procedures for the resolution, settlement, and prosecution of acts of sexual harassment. To accomplish this, the employer or head office shall promulgate appropriate rules and regulations in the consultation with jointly approved by the students or trainees through their duly designated representations, example, the students or council, prescribing the procedure for the investigation of sexual harassment cases and administrative sanction thereof. And C is the create a committee on decorum and investigation of case on sexual harassment. The committee shall conduct meetings on the case, maybe with other officers, employee, teachers, and instructor for the case for are the professors, coaches, trainers, and students for trainees to increase understanding and the prevent incidents of sexual harassment. It shall also conduct to investigate of alleged cases constituting sexual harassment. For the section 5 of this law provides that the head of the school shall be solidarily liable for damages arising from the acts of sexual harassment committed in the school if the head of the school is informed of such acts by the offended party or no immediate action is taken thereof. Now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the drug testing for tertiary level students. In accordance with the pertinent provisions of Republic Act Number 7722, otherwise known as the Higher Education Act of 1994, and pursuant to Section 36 in the letter C of the Article 3 of the RA 9165, otherwise known as the Comprehensive Dangerous Drugs Act of 2002. Random drug testing on the students in public and private tertiary higher education institutions will be implemented beginning in 2003. The guideline principle in the implementation of the policy in the school and management of drug testing results are the following. First is the government recognizes the primary responsibility of the family, particularly the parents of the education, and the awareness of its members of ill effects of the dangerous drugs. Next is the parental involvement shall be maximized in the implementation of the drug education, random drug testings, treatment and rehabilitation of drug users and dependents. Next is the school, with the assistance of local government units, all the LGUs, and other agencies where the school is located, has the obligation to employ every reasonable means to provide a health and drug-free environment to its populace. Next is the cognizant of the right of the students to continue and complete their studies. The government and the school shall give emphasis to the implementation of the measures aimed at guidance and counseling together with the treatment and rehabilitation of any student found to have used or to be dependent on the dangerous drugs. Next is the academic freedom of the institution of their higher learning shall be respected in the implementation of the random drug testing and other pertinent provisions of RA 9165. The implementation of the drug abuse prevention and education program in the schools shall be intensified as an integral part of the overall demand reduction efforts of the government. And next is the random drug testing shall be implemented as the collaborative undertaking of the government, the schools, the students, and their parents, the full process shall not in any manner be utilized to harass the students. And next is the random drug testing shall be implemented primarily for prevention and rehabilitation. And next is the drug testing program shall guarantee and respect personal privacy and dignity of the student. And next is the drug test results shall be treated with utmost confidentiality. And next is, and the last is the test results shall not be used in any criminal proceedings. And the purposes of random drug testings are to determine the prevalence of drug user among the students. And next is to assess the effectiveness of school-based, community-based prevention programs. And next is to deter the use of illegal drugs. And next is to facilitate the rehabilitation of drug users and dependents. And lastly, to strengthen the collaboration efforts of identified agencies against the use of illegal drugs and the rehabilitation of drug users' dependents. And now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the tertiary education equivalency. The CMO 21 series of 1997 provides the policy and guidelines in the implementation of the expanded tertiary education equivalency and accreditation program pursuant to Executive Order 3230. Many of the participants in the tourism and hospitality industry were not able to complete college degrees because of various reasons. Some have become very successful and distinguished in their careers as chefs, hotel managers, restaurant managers, and travel agents. ETEAP Apply recognizes those skills and expertise gained from many years of experience as equivalent of the number of subjects in the standard bachelor's program. This now allows undergraduates to complete their degrees in such shorter time. In some cases, the bachelor degrees are awarded without taking any additional units. And for our last topic, which is the foreign students. There have a number of SCHED memoranda issued in the relation to process foreign students in the Philippines. The CMO 53 S 1997 amendments to SCHED Memorandum Order CMO number 2 series of 1994 read the implementation guidelines in the entry and stay of the foreign students in the Philippines and establishments in the Interagency Committee for the purpose to conform the Executive Order number 423 signed on 25 June 1997, amending Executive Order number 188. Next is the CMO 7 is in 1996 submission of the names of designation officers of higher education institution with foreign state students. Next is the CMO1 as 1996 submission of reports on foreign students with expired visas and derogatory records. And next is the CMO15 as 1995 general procedure in the processing of the entry and stay of the foreign students. And lastly is that we have the CMO2 as 1995 rules and regulations to implement EO number 188 guidelines on the entry of the and stay of the foreign students in the Philippines and the establishment of an interagency committee for that purpose. Typical foreign students enrolled in Philippine school is granted student visa, travels to his home country once or twice a year, rents a studio or apartment, and visit tourist spots in the Philippines or in the country. The school must ensure that all the documents of the foreign student are in order before admitting or enrolling the students. Many of these foreign students come and stay in the Philippines colleges and universities for various reasons. Interview with a sample of over 100 foreign students indicate that top 5 reasons for studying the Philippines are: A is reasonable cost of education, B is best chance to learn and acquire proficiency and in the English language, and C is relatively good quality education, D is recommendation of friends, colleagues, and relatives, and lastly is proximity to home country. And that's it for my report. Again, I'm Criscia Autentico, and thank you. Have a good day!